Good morning, people. And the microphone seems to be working. Okay, good. We're in business. Hi, I am your Heavenly Father. It's early here. It's 7 a.m. on the West Coast. Good morning, Liberty. Good morning, Yoshi. And I like to start my mornings. I usually wake up in a fairly good mood. First thing I do, of course, is survey my body and see what I've injured overnight. Because I'm 51 now, and that's how it go. So yesterday, this is serious. I pulled my calf while sleeping. I just woke up in the middle of the night and my calf was just like gripped tightly. I'm trying to rub it and I'm trying to move my foot, and if I try and stretch my foot, then my foot cramps and and so my foot is now, I'm like pulling my foot towards me and my calf is spasm from the spaz. Anyway, it's still, let's see how it still hurts. I'm supposed to play tennis and hockey this weekend. I'm supposed to play tennis this morning. I'm not going to play, but I have a match. And it's not just a match, because honestly, I don't really enjoy the matches. I just like going and playing and having fun. The matches are like, people take it really seriously and tennis is a ridiculous game because, and for those of you outside the United States, it's netsing I'm talking about. I've been playing for about a year now, since really the pandemic. It's not complicated. Hit the ball back over the net. But then there'll be like times where you don't hit the ball back over the net. Now, if somebody hits it and it's off to the side and you're like, oh, I got it, and you don't get it back over, that's totally understandable. But anything near you should. It's a tennis ball. It's very frustrating. Sonia 51-2, I understand I get leg cramps when I drive too long. Yeah, I actually, I'll tell you about that too. By the way, I'm Kevin. This is Spilling COVFEFE. This is just, we have some COVFEFE together out of a Nickelodeon mug, and there's no agenda here. What we sometimes do is we watch a little Fucks and Friends, and we find out why we're outraged. Like I was saying, I wake up, I survey the damage to my body from sleeping. This morning it's my neck, because I foolishly slept on my side for a while. Kind of an idiot. And then I think, you know what? I have it pretty good. I have family. I have friends. I have a wonderful son. I have Kevinly daughter, who, by the way, lost power last night. So, then she called her apartment complex, and they have it like an emergency line. She called the emergency line and left a message. Nothing. So, yeah. Morning, Sydney. Hey, Chris. Chris is 55 and throws his back out while sleeping all the time. Yeah, I know bananas are supposed to help with the leg cramps. I'm 51 and I have a banana every single day with my bran. Which reminds me, I'll be right back. Give me about 25 minutes. I'll be back. Morning, KFT. Good to see you. At random, you're up early. So, anywho, I like to wake up and figure out why I should be outraged today, because life is pretty good to me. I'm certainly blessed beyond my deservation. Many of us are. Anybody really living in the developed world has it pretty good. A lot of us has. It's not saying we don't have problems. Everybody has problems. But I wake up and I'm in a chipper mood. Good morning, Shelley. I'm chipper mood. Shelley drops in. I'm in chipper. Hi, Shelley. It's Shelley. Yay. That makes me feel good. So what I do is I turn on the right-wing media to find out why I shouldn't be happy. And that brings me down. That balances everything out. So, join me this morning, if you will, to be a little bit outraged at stuff. And the cool thing is, it's not even real, the stuff at which we should be outraged, which I guess ends up leaving me feeling happier in the end. So maybe, I don't know. So this is Spilling COVFEFE. We have no agenda. If you want to watch something, let me know. We'll try. I didn't. I was pretty busy last night. I got like 3 auditions due today, plus the whole my daughter doesn't have power thing. So let's do this before we even get. Let's catch up on what happened last night. We'll go visit our friend Asen and see because he keeps track of everything for us. Seems like a pretty decent young man. Let's go back to the beginning. There's usually a oh God. Just going down the list here, I see things that are outraging me already, and these are real things. So this is Kevin McCarthy from yesterday.
Speaker of the House.
He's the guy who wants to be the new housekeeper. Go ahead, volume. Here we go.
Mr. Speaker, earlier today, the Speaker of the House said that people who are fully vaccinated but don't support wearing a mask are morons. She went on to say that the House...
Well, yeah, because if you don't support wearing a mask, you're helping COVID. And that's moronic. Okay? You know, and it's just a mask. I've worn masks. I think we all have. I'm okay. I wear serious masks sometimes too, but just a little surgical little piece of cloth, a little blue on the inside or the outside. I don't even know. I'm not sure how to wear it really. Either way, I'm happy. I do know that you're supposed to wear it above. I mean, I can spot a moron a mile away. Wear it below your nose. Yes, you're a moron, vaccinated or not. Hey, Todd. Oh, hey, Todd. Haven't seen you in a long time. Good to see you. Deidre, Liberty. I think I said hello to Liberty already.
should follow the science.
Yeah, we should.
Madam Speaker, you don't know the facts nor the science.
Yes. More specifically, she said Kevin is a moron, and I am. So that is true, Nancy Pelosi. The judges are here. Hey, guys. They're out there now. We're at a different studio than we used to be. We're at TBD Studios right now, and apparently the judges are in the building. I can't even see. I can just see one of them walking by. I don't know how many are here, so it's good to have them back. They fact check for us on the fly. When you hear that bell, that means something has happened that's true.
So let's talk about it. The Speaker is referring to the CDC current recommendation.
Yeah.
I just left speaking with Dr. Monahan from the House. He said he used
Is that the House physician?
the CDC recommendation on a report that hasn't been printed yet.
That's not what he said. And doesn't matter whether the report's been printed or not. It's published, is what you would refer to. It's going through peer review right now. This is the study that they're referring to in India that showed that with the Delta virus, typically when you get yourself vaccinated with the original strain or with Alpha, which is the UK strain, typically your viral load is about 1/4, at most, 1/4 of your normal viral load when you're unvaccinated. So the vaccination really keeps the viral load down in the nasopharynx and blah, 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 blah. Basically, the vaccine means that you can't spread it to others. With the Delta variant, you got yourself a full viral load. You may not feel any symptoms, but in terms of your nose, it keeps it out of the lungs. It's actually easier for whatever reason for the vaccine to combat the virus in the lungs than the nasal passages. So you keep yourself nice and vaccinated, and you're going to be probably okay. But if you do catch it, now you got a full viral load, which explains why people who are vaccinated can spread it to other people. The Delta variant. And very likely the new Columbia variant, which hasn't even been given a Greek letter yet, but is already 10% of the cases in Florida in 2 weeks. And that's something just to keep on the radar, folks. I hate to bum you out, but the whatever they decide to call it, the new variant, NU, Greek letter, or the Sigma, wherever we are in the Greek alphabet, that's what you want to be keeping an eye on. So, hey, Marcy, it's too early there. Go back to bed. Okay, does anybody else find McCarthy's cadence and tone both condescending and idiotic simultaneously? Yes. Plus, it's not Englishing. So something about variants. Yeah. Oh, anyway, so the study done in India basically took 100 vaccinated Indian doctors, nurses, etc., people, medical staff who ended up contracting it and testing the amount of the viral load. We know from a study in Spain that viral load is the best predictor of whether or not you're going to become symptomatic and or spread to others. And in the study in Spain, nobody with a low viral load was able to spread it to anybody. But people with high viral loads, that's how the disease spreads. But this is a variant before Delta. So now we're dealing with the Delta variant. And even if you're vaccinated, you can have, and I'm the first to say, hey, back at the beginning, I was like, don't worry about wearing a mask, guys. If you're vaccinated, you can't spread it to others with this variant. I don't know if I ever specified with this variant or not, but you can go back and review the tapes. Don't. Once Delta came along and the disease started spreading with an R naught of 6 or 7 or whoever knows how many it is, you wear that mask. Hold on. Firearm says I could become famous by buying followers. And I don't want to buy followers, please. My followers have to give me. They want to buy me. Or at least they should want to buy me. Nobody wants to buy me. Okay, moving on with Kevin here. Morning, Sean.
He did not know that the report is based upon India about a vaccine that's not approved in America.
Yeah, but same basic premise. You got yourself a vaccine, whether that be an mRNA vaccine or a traditional vaccine, whatever it is. Over there, they got the AstraZeneca, they've got the Bio, they've got a couple of different vaccines. Neither of them mRNA. They're still vaccines, and they still suppress the virus. They are doing those studies currently here with the Delta virus and Pfizer and Moderna. So, although these studies might not be complete yet, really, in a case like this, where the virus is multiplying rapidly, especially in unvaccinated people, all you've got to do is take 4 or 5 people, test them, and if they all have a high viral load in the nasal then, yeah, ring the alarm bells. Not you, judges. Still people sleeping in the house. Let people know, hey, let's just go back to masks for now. It is better to err on the side of not killing 600,000 Americans. And remember, kids, these are all just the rehearsal variants.
And now he did not know that it didn't even pass per review.
Yes, as Ramafrog points out, the R naught number. So the R naught number is basically, it's just a fancy way of saying how many people will you infect if you get it. You want an R naught number of below 1 because then you're infecting fewer than 1 people. I think that's correct. I'm a sciencer, not an Englisher. So you want that number, and then the disease will die out. But if you get it and you infect 2 people, and they infect 2 people, and so on, and so on, and so on. So right now it looks like the R naught number for the Delta variants is 5 to 8. That's very bad. That will change. All of these things are difficult to assess during an actual outbreak. The bottom line is, if we don't get vaccinated, we're going to have more variants like this, or worse. Actually, you're having variants all the time. The disease is constantly mutating. That's its job, to reproduce itself. And when you reproduce in the millions upon millions upon millions of viruses, billions and billions of viruses, eventually you're going to end up with mutations. And if those mutations are good and are able to break through the vaccine, those are the ones that are going to reproduce and become dominant. So again, the unnamed variant, the Colombian variant, is already 10% of cases in Florida, and that's within about a week. And Florida has the Delta variant in spades. Los Angeles County, by the way, 93% now, Delta variant, which is what we were saying was going to happen. Like 2 months ago when we could see what was going on in India. Let's take a look at India, by the way. I haven't done that in a couple of days. Give me a second here, folks. COVID, because hopefully we're going to see a downward progression in India, and we have. Okay, good. So this is naturally what will happen. theoretically, in April when it's warm, it's just going to disappear. It's going to wash through like a miracle. This is your quickie graph of India. Okay, so this is you're looking at a high in May. New cases 7-day average about 400,000, and then down it went to a very low level. One moment, please. You guys are still here? Hey guys, so emergency situation here in that my car was blocking the trash cans, so I had to move my car. It's Friday. You got to move your car on Friday. Partying, yeah. Partying, yeah. Fun. You know what it is. So hopefully the variant will burn its way through. The Delta variant will burn its way through, and that'll be that. Here's the scary part. Marcy says my county island, so out there in the Hawaii, is up to 440 cases. 12 hospitals hospitalized right now, and even though that's the big island, it's not the big island in terms of population. 12 hospitalized is a lot. Here in Los Angeles yesterday, 17 deaths in Los Angeles County, and of those 17, this is the scary part. Of those 17, 10 of those 17 were ages 50 through 65. That's not how COVID-19 is supposed to work. COVID-19 is supposed to get your 80-year-olds. 50 through 65. The majority yesterday, 50 through 65. I'd have to go back a few days and look at each and see if that seems to be the general. That's how this works. In other words, and it's affecting children as well. There are children in the intensive care. Babies are getting it and ending up at the ICU. To check my Twitter timeline at Kevin Lee Father on Twitter. Yesterday I posted a brief thing that CNN did about a children's hospital in New Orleans that has several kids in the ICU, including a baby. So, Delta variant, is it going to kill us all? No. We're going to be okay. And this is India, where like 1% to 2% of the population was vaccinated during that outbreak. So theoretically, it burns its way through, hopefully. But then again, people in India started taking it very seriously because they ran out of hospital space and oxygen within a couple of days. We ran out of oxygen too here in the United States. Back at the beginning in New York City, they actually ran out of oxygen at several hospitals. They were bringing in oxygen on a daily basis, emergency deliveries on a daily basis. Here's Kevin McCarthy.
That's why vaccinated people in this House now have to wear a mask. There is no science. But I guess the Speaker must have not known that.
What I don't understand is how come if they all live in the same house.
Why wouldn't the Speaker know the facts? Do you know what frustrates America?
I don't know what frustrates America. I mean, besides you, Kevin McCarthy? Oh, the overreaction. Let's see what else. What do we got here? Let's move forward. So a lot of this is repeat. Oh, so this is Tim Ryan. He's upset. He's a Democrat though, but let's move on from that. Here's Tucker. Okay. Oh yeah, this is from Aaron Rupar,
take it from
our friend Aaron Rupar. Here's Tucker saying that Fauci actually created the virus.
They take it from the guy who created COVID. Watch this.
Now that we have a Delta variant.
Okay, this is. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to hear this. For months now, all of the Fox shows that are shot remotely, and some of them that aren't, especially Judge Jeanine, Tucker Carlson, they can't get their audio right. They hear a constant buzz underneath the actual speaking, and they haven't fixed it. Listen to the way that, and you'll notice it when they go to Fauci, suddenly there's a bed of silence underneath Fauci. This is coming out of an office building. A government office building at the NIH. That's usually where he broadcasts from. He might be at the White House. I don't know. At the NIH Press Center, they figured out, hey, let's get some decent power cords that don't create that analog buzz underneath everything. And when I say that, it's like, listen, with Tucker, you hear this underneath what he's talking about. And then you go to Fauci, and there's silence. Listen.
They take it from the guy who created COVID. Watch this.
Now.
See, right at the end there, watch this. And it dies out because we go to Fauci.
Take it from the guy who created COVID. Watch this.
Now.
Why? Why haven't you fixed that, Fox? It's not hard to do. Just duck that noise. That's what it's called, ducking. Auto ducking, etc. That's actually filtering, but it's why has nobody at Fox News noticed this? It bugs the hell out of me. Actually, it doesn't, but it's just funny. So this is
that's exactly
Greg Abbott talking about immigration. So what they're doing in Texas is they're actually arresting immigrants and putting them in jail. Not helping, but putting them in jail.
That's exactly why I issued this executive order that does a couple of things. One is it empowers the Texas Department of Public Safety to stop any vehicle where there is a suspicion that vehicle may be transporting migrants into and around the state of Texas who may have COVID-19. That's
okay. So now they're just pulling people over in Texas. If there's brown people inside, just get papers, passport. Not even sure what accent that is. Aaron Rupar's comment is, this is Nazi stuff. It is. It is. Just have all the immigrants wear like a yellow tamale on there. And then, you know what? We're going to round them up. We're going to put them we'll send them to camp. You can't, first off, there's so many things. Every time that some idiot governor tries something like this, like, not only governor, but president, Trump had people going on to Greyhound buses and walking up and down looking for brown people and demanding to see proof that they're U.S. citizens or that they have a right to be in this country. We don't do that here. If I went out tomorrow, or I don't know why not today, but I'm just saying, let's look into the distant future with me, would you? If I went out and someone asked me, well, I was walking to the tennis court, show me your identification. It's maybe it's in the car, maybe I've left it. I actually, on the back of my phone, I have a little... This is the only way I remember my wallet, in that I don't remember my wallet. My ID and my... I have one debit card tucked into the back of my phone, and I can't go anywhere without my phone. As you know, it's right here. And I'll tell you this. I don't live with many people, but those that I do live with, and this is the case for years, not just the people I'm living with right now, but previous, they're always hiding my phone. I know this is happening. You know what else? My slippers. People are always hiding my slippers. And I suspect it's not just people. I think it's ghosts. I think there are ghosts out there hiding my slippers. So be very wary, people. Try and catch it on video. Put up video cameras around your house. And if you get evidence of the slipper ghosts, you let me know. We will break this wide open. Here's TV Karen talking about something. Here we go. Fauci, talking about Fauci, because he's the evil one that's served 46 presidents now.
He had to say about any given health threat. But now a lot of people are just tuning him out.
Good morning, producer Joanna. Hi. Hey, producer Joanna. You haven't seen any slippers around lately, have you? At random, Rusty. Maybe it's dogs. I don't even have a dog right now. And now this is like everyone's like, oh, my shoe. Where's my shoe? The dog has taken the shoe and he's chewing on the shoe. There's reasons for that. And that's a compliment. When your dog takes your shoe and is chewing your shoe, that's a compliment. That just means he wants you around. Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good boy.
Fauci, by the way, is no one.
Sean, do you have a dog? You're a sheep. Must be a dog nearby.
To blame but himself. Ditto for the Capitol Police, who testified on Wednesday.
Oh, hold on.
The crowds
Another emergency.
Known for weeks would show
I'm
up
going to leave you with something.
The Capitol on January 6th.
Up. Give me a second.
Possibility. Couldn't hold the Capitol perimeter on that day.
If you are fully vaccinated,
that
you
itself
no
was a
longer need
scandal.
to wear a mask.
Here, guys,
if you've been fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
Where the U.S. Capitol Police are threatening to arrest any visitor or staffer who refuses to wear a mask.
Nancy Pelosi is totally off the rails, and she has gone totally nuts.
Senators come to an agreement on an infrastructure package, but progressives say the price tag should be higher.
Squad member Cori Bush pointing to issues of race.
Is this the bipartisan infrastructure group or the audience at a Kid Rock concert?
Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot taking the stage maskless at Lollapalooza on the same day that the county was added to the CDC's indoor mask advisory.
Peter Schultz and his 4 teammates reeled in a 301-pound swordfish. It fought for more than 8 hours.
I'll give my right hand to do that over again. It was totally worth it.
Grant.
Well, you know, Brian has a huge crush on Ulysses S. Grant.
Right.
Because he loves history.
Unrelated, right? They're not regraded. And one won a war. I keep on getting them mixed up.
Amy Grant.
Yeah,
one won a Grammy, one won a war.
Is she country?
No, she was a Christian rock singer, and now she's a pop singer.
Really? No country?
But she's married to a country singer.
That's what I'm
Vince
thinking.
Gill.
Right.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
And we've had Vince Gill on before.
And we have Rachel Campos-Duffy today for another day. She was with us all weekend. She's today,
all
the
weekend.
whole
You're
week.
gonna be
She's
sick of
going to
me
be
by
here
the
this
end.
weekend.
Thanks for having me here.
We just can't shake her.
And by the way, she's going to be here until you run out of outfits. So that's it. As soon as she runs out of outfits, she's gone.
I'm going to start wearing your suit.
Yeah, it's easy to be us, I'll tell you that.
Anyway, it's great that you would join us on this Friday, and it's a busy Friday. A lot of news. I'm sure you were watching the channel last night.
Okay, I'm back. Another emergency averted. It's a busy emergency morning here at the TBD studios. So the good news is, take that, ghosts. So I left you guys without being able to see what they were talking about on Fox and Friends, but at least listening to them. I totally missed what we're outraged about. Should I be outraged about something? Libby, something happened that was cool. I don't know.
Lockdown concerns loom over the Biden administration.
Okay, let's go back to Asen here, and hopefully we won't get rudely interrupted again. Here we go.
CDC had to say about any given health threat. But now a lot of people are just tuning them out. Fauci, by the way, has no one to blame but himself.
First off, hardly anybody pays any attention to what the CDC says, because they say stuff all the time. Like, for example, they've been saying for years, please don't wash your chicken. Don't. It's a waste of time, and it's dangerous. So many people die of salmonella. People get sick of salmonella, they usually recover. But a lot of people get sick of food poisoning salmonella. It's because they're washing their chicken. And one little drop of whatever's on that chicken getting anywhere else in the kitchen, on your utensils, in your sink, etc. And in order to clear it out of the sink, you got to like bleach that thing. Now, the heat of the oven will kill any sort of thing that's on your chicken. All the baddies, okay? So, but when you wash it, all you're doing is spreading that around, and it's going to end up on something else, and you're going to get salmonella and or chickenella or whatever, you know, the meat beefanella. You want to avoid all the nellas. But most people pay very little attention to what the CDC says.
CDC had to say about any given health threat. But now a lot of people are just tuning them out. Fauci, by the way, has no one to blame but himself. Ditto for the Capitol Police, who testified on Wednesday. Despite the crowds they had known for weeks would show up at the Capitol on January 6th, the Capitol Police couldn't hold the Capitol perimeter on that day. That
against 9,400 rabid Trump supporters. Oh, no.
Itself is a scandal. And instead of examining why that happened...
Because of Donald Trump, and that's what we're examining?
They turned to blaming President Trump, who they...
Right, who started the riot.
They all obviously despise. This officer, who called Trump a hitman in his testimony...
Yeah.
It's so unbiased, so professional.
No, it's got nothing to do with bias. We have Trump saying, now, get down there, which was illegal in the first place. They weren't supposed to march anywhere. They had no permit to march. Go to the Capitol, which they weren't supposed to do. The Capitol was completely perimetered off. They were not supposed to be on the Capitol grounds anyway. They had to break through barricades just to get to the grass. Or you got to fight like hell, or you're not going to have a country anymore. We got to start kicking ass and taking names. That's what was said at the rally. And Trump said you got to fight like hell. Yes, earlier in the rally, he read off of a teleprompter, not his words, and we're going to peaceably make our voices heard. I think he said peacefully. Whatever. And that's always, by the way, Geraldo, if you're watching, the other day you were on with Don Bongo and Sean and Hannity, and they were throwing the whole like, oh, but he said peacefully make sure your voices are heard. Peacefully, how can you? Okay, fine, yeah, he said that. He read it off a teleprompter, which he didn't even write. He doesn't write his own speeches. And then 20, 30 minutes later in the speech, he said, go to the Capitol, fight like hell, or you're not going to have a country anymore. Fight like hell. And why Geraldo doesn't know that? Come on, Jerry. Everybody should know this by now. If you're going to be on television, do a little bit of research.
That last year, he attacked me personally on Twitter. He deleted it, so...
Only if they're white and share the same views as you, trash-ass human, is what Harry Dunn, the police officer, wrote to TV Karen. Oh, judges say he's correct. She is a trash-ass human.
Brave, but we have it. Again, credibility of another institution gravely harmed.
Right, and you have your whole hydroxychloroquine, which, by the way, they finally figured out why hydroxychloroquine doesn't work on any of the COVIDs. The way that hydroxychloroquine acts, it's too slow to actually have any sort of effect on the virus. The one study that people say like, oh, they were on a ventilator, and 8 more people survived out of 286. It's just coincidental. Hydroxychloroquine is not effective in combating COVID-19. Now, there are several drugs. Invectin seems to be fairly effective. You've got your monoclonal antibodies, got a bunch of therapeutics. And of course, you've got your vaccine so that hopefully you don't get sick in the first place. So get vaccinated is the bottom line of that story. But hydroxychloroquine, nope, doesn't work. And they figured out exactly why now.
This is all terrible for...
Yes, correct. All of this is terrible. Let's go back to Asen here. Okay, more of that. Let's see. I don't want to do Officer Dunn because it's on CNN. Oh, God. Okay, so this is...
And you'll see him bail out.
There was a restaurant here in Huntington Beach, which is Orange County, right below LA County. They used to call it the Orange Curtain because it's where all the white people lived. They all moved out in the 40s, 50s, 60s. They all moved down to Orange County, which used to be Orange Groves. It's where Disneyland is in Anaheim. They all moved away from the hustle and bustle of the city because in those days they were building these freeways that you could get into LA in a half an hour. So if you worked in LA or Burbank or wherever you were working, if you lived in Orange County, no problem. Hop on that freeway and at 65 miles an hour, you're downtown LA within 22 minutes. It doesn't work like that anymore. But Orange County, until very recently, until Donald Trump, was considered extremely red. It still is red. Now it's purple. Now all the seats are blue. So almost all the seats in Orange County. But it's still, there's a lot of holdouts down there. And keep in mind that all areas of this country are purple. This is a restaurant owner of Italian place, and his name is Tony, because stereotypes. And he's during the pandemic, he wouldn't let people wear masks inside the restaurant. Now he's requiring proof of non-vaccination. And no, nobody has figured out what the hell that is. This is him. I don't even know. Oh, yeah. Producer Joanna, you're welcome. Do not wash your chicken. Take your chicken, season it, put it in the oven. The oven will burn everything off. Wash your hands well. I know. I washed my chicken for years. I remember in Africa being taught to wash the chicken. Like fresh chicken from the yard.
The last interview that I did with little Chris Cuomo on CNN.
Little Chris Cuomo. Wonder who he supports politically. The interview with Chris Cuomo on CNN was Chris owned him on the CNN. I don't know if we should. Again, if I show CNN stuff, I risk a copyright strike, and I can't do that right now on the YouTube. Fox, I've never gotten a copyright strike for Fox. OAN, I did the one Trump interview, and OAN gave me a copyright strike, and I protested it. And nothing. So OAN is just going to, of all of the cancel culture, OAN is by far the worst. And that's not anecdotal. I have the evidence. I have the copyright strike. I have the dispute.
And you'll see him bail out, as soon as it got heated.
The interview ended. Hey, we got to go to commercial. And you're an idiot, is the way the interview ended. But no, he did not bail out. They have commercial breaks on television. Wonder what happened at the end of this interview.
The interview that I did with little Chris Cuomo on CNN.
And oh, by the way, Tony did not come off well.
And you'll see him bail out.
Here's the note on Basilico's door on Huntington Beach. Notice, proof of being unvaccinated required. We have zero tolerance for treasonous anti-American stupidity. Thank you for... I can't read that last word.
As soon as it got heated.
Yeah, that is an actual poster that they have posted at their restaurant. You have to proof of being unvaccinated.
Like the coward that he is, right? So
I'm saying we're making a point.
Okay, so we're going to watch a little bit of it here. How much do we have? I don't know if we can watch this whole thing because it looks like it's several seconds long. It is. Okay, so guys, go to Asyn's page, ACYN, if you want to watch this. Again, I can't risk a copyright strike right now. I'm still sitting there with one from OAN. If you get 3, your channel goes away. So we have to wait for that 1 to expire before we can get into that nether zone. Again, this is all protected by the Constitution. This is fair use. I'm providing you with snippets of news. I am making commentary on that news. They are of a political nature. This is all protected under fair use. But, okay. Let's go back to Asyn and see if anything else happened. Here we go. Here's Tucker.
Well, a media outlet called The Record, which is owned by cybersecurity. Well, a media...
Okay. The media outlet called the record. This is Asen. Let's put this into context here. This is Justin Baragona. Baragona? I don't know, Justin. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. I hope I'm getting that right. Tucker Carlson, our identity, the record said, was included. Oh, okay, so this is about the NSA. Tucker says that the NSA was targeting him and illegally spying on him and his emails in order to cancel his show. No. The NSA was spying on 2 potential threats, neither of them American. They mentioned Tucker, so 2 third parties mentioned Tucker Carlson in passing. When that happens, when an American citizen is mentioned, it has to be unmasked. Immediately that American citizen's name is hidden. Somebody has to request that that's unmasked. Like, well, who are these 2 terrorists talking about? Or these 2 Russians, or whomever they might be. The adversaries to the United States, I would like them unmasked, which happens all the time. Unmasking is not a big deal. It just, there has to be a record of who is asking for this unmasking, and that way Americans aren't targeted unfairly. It's a process. Now, does that mean that the NSA is this wonderful and patriotic and completely transparent organization? No, of course not. But does that mean they're trying to cancel Tucker Carlson? No. So, as it came out, it's been revealed that the whistleblower told Tucker that he'd sort of seen his name in passing because Tucker Carlson's name was unmasked by somebody, just to say, like, wait, who are they talking about? Oh, Tucker Carlson. All right, moving on. Yeah, he's an idiot. Literally, the Fox News lawyers have argued that nobody should take Tucker Carlson seriously in court proceedings, that he is not to be taken as a credible source. Strictly entertainment. So anyway, when that came out, that in fact, no, the NSA was not spying on Tucker Carlson, they doubled down.
Well, a media outlet called The Record, which is owned by a cybersecurity company, recently published a story about the NSA's monitoring of this show, effectively admitting...
You guys hear the analog hiss underneath?
...that it happened. Our identity, The Record said, was included in an intel intercept and then, quote, unmasked. The intercept...
Right. Uh-huh.
The Record, rather, did not explain how that would be legal, but it happened, as we said.
And Tucker has been trying to set up a meeting with Putin, an interview with Vladimir Putin. And so if 2 Russians were talking about, like, oh, someone wants to talk to Putin, that's where that came from. Tucker did this to himself. Likely. I don't know if that's exactly where it came from. That's the report. Okay, here is Jim Jordan. Admits talking to Trump on January 6th, which would make him a fact witness in the commission, which he was not allowed to sit upon because he's a fact witness. Also idiot, but let's listen.
Obviously going to go down a number of different roads about who knew what when, who was talking to coordinators of the protest. Did you talk to the former president?
Thank you for pondering is what it says on the poster. That's what I thought it says. But it doesn't, none of it makes any sense. But if that's it, then thank you very much, Marcy.
Isn't that day?
I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all because it doesn't make any sense.
Talked to the former president umpteen times, thousands, I may not thousands times, but countless times. I talked to the president. I never talk about...
Did you talk to the president on January 6th? I talk to the president all the time. Right, did you talk to him on the 6th? Thousands of millions of times. I've talked to the president 500,000 million times. But on January 6th, did you talk to him?
Going to go down a number of different...
I talked to a lot of people.
...roads about who knew what when, who was talking to coordinators of the protest. Did you talk to the former president that day?
I've talked to the former president umpteen times, thousands, I may not thousands
on
times,
January
but
6th.
Countless times. I talked to the president. I never talk about what we talk about because I just don't think that's appropriate, just like I don't talk about what happens in Republican conferences. So
Sure.
I've talked to the president numerous times. I continue to talk to the president since he's left office.
On January 6th, Congressman.
Yes, I've talked to the president. I've talked to the president so many.
Oh, we want to see the Yelp reviews if they're still up of Basilicos. We'll take a look.
I can't remember all the days I've talked to him, but I've certainly talked to the president.
Yeah, and on that day was. Can you share any of the insight of what he was thinking about that day?
Brett, the people we need to come testify are the people who can testify to the fundamental questions. Why didn't the United States Capitol, the People's House, have an appropriate security posture?
Okay, but he did talk to him on January 6th. We know this. Yesterday, another reporter asked him what time of day he talked to them, and he couldn't answer. And he just stumbled all over the place. Let's see if we can find that. We probably can. Give me a moment here. Okay. because I replied to it, and I think I can find it. Here we go. This is it. I found it. This is from Aaron Rupar. That's what
There's some confusion over what you told Bret Baier on Fox News on Tuesday night, so I want to clear it up. First off, yes or no, did you speak with President Trump on January 6th?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke with the president last week. I speak with the president all the time. I spoke with him on January 6th. I mean, I talk with President Trump all the time, and that's I don't think that's unusual. I would expect members of Congress to talk with the president of the United States when they're trying to get done the things they told the voters in their district to do.
Right away. When you're nervous, you make basic grammatical mistakes, and you're worried. You miss them because you're trying to spin your lie. You're thinking about this tangled web that you're now spinning in order to deceive, and you make basic mistakes like Jim Jordan telling his constituents what they need to do. Listen.
Members of Congress to talk with the president of the United States when they're trying to get done the things they told the voters in their district to do.
I don't know what Jim Jordan has told his voters in his district to do. Jim is not good at telling anyone anything bad that might have happened in a gymnasium or a shower. He's not really a telling guy. He is telling lies at this point, but just it gets better. That's Jim, folks.
Unusual. I would expect members of Congress to talk with the president of the United States when they're trying to get done the things they told the voters in their district to do. I'm actually kind of amazed sometimes that people keep asking this. But of course, I talk to the president all the time. I talked to him, like I said, I talked to him last week.
On January 6th, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go. I
have to go back and look at the records. Okay, we need you to say on the record that there are records, and those records will be subpoenaed. We all know there's records. We all have phone records. If you're talking on the phone, there's a record of it. If you're a member of Congress, there's a permanent record of it. If you have Verizon, there's a record of it online. It's not hard to do. And after 6 months, would you not having been asked this question several times over the past couple of days, would you not look at your phone records and go over wait, did I talk to him during the riots? Was I... hold on. You know what? There's a way to look that up. Tippity tack tack tap tap doop doop. And yes, I talked to him at 2:47 p.m. or whatever it is.
I spoke with him that day after. I think after. I don't know if I spoke with him in the morning or not.
Maybe Marcy's correct. What he told his constituents to do is a riot on January 6th. So yeah, you would be having a conversation with the president about what you told your constituents to do. That is correct, Marcy. I sit corrected. Judges agree.
I'd have to go. I spoke with him that day after. I think.
You know who else has those records? Tucker Carlson and the NSA. Let's go back. Let's go all the way back because I want to put this into context with what Marcy has pointed out correctly.
Trump all the time, and that's. I don't think that's unusual. I would expect members of Congress to talk with the president of the United States when they're trying to get done the things they told the voters in their district to do.
Get out there on January 6th, break into the Capitol, and kill the vice president. Now it all makes sense. See, when you put it into context, and that's what we're here for. Actually, I'm here just to drink the coffee, and now I'm out of COVFEFE, people. This is the third emergency in one morning. At least I have my slippers.
I'm actually kind of amazed sometimes that people keep asking this. But of course, I talk to the president all the time. I talked to him, like I said, I talked to him last week.
On January 6th.
Why are you asking? I'm just amazed that people are asking all the time about the blood that's coming out from underneath the closet door. Why? Why am I asking? There are lots of closets. There are lots of closets in the world. I open doors all the time. I open thousands of doors. Not thousands of doors, but hundreds of doors. Certainly countless doors every day. I'm opening them. I'm closing them. Sometimes things are behind the doors. Sometimes they're inside the doors. I go inside, outside, inside, outside. There's all kinds of things I do when I kill people. There's no record. I'd have to look it up.
6, did you speak with him before, during, or after the Capitol was attacked?
I'd have to go.
So he's looking up and to his right. The trouble is sometimes the images are reversed. Let's see. No, NFL is correct. So so Jim is looking up and to his right. Keep that in mind about Jim Jordan. He's being asked a question. He's searching for the information up and to his right. Does anybody know if Jim Jordan's left-handed?
I spoke with him that day after. I think after. I don't know if I spoke with him in the morning or not. I just don't know. I'd have to go back and I mean, I don't know.
You don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's all, folks. I don't know. Right? You just said you don't know. Shh. Calm down. This is just an interview with Spectrum News. It's not an audition for ESPN. There's no...
that when those conversations happen, but what I know is I spoke with them all the time. But Taylor, the key here is the people we need to speak to, the people we need to talk to, are the ones who can answer the question, why wasn't there a better security presence that day?
So twice there, he keeps himself from saying, I would have to check my records of the phone calls. Twice he stops mid-sentence. So this is going to be interesting. And it'll be interesting to watch him criticize the Congress for trying to get to the truth. God forbid. Okay, created COVID. Okay, Bradley Whitford. What's Bradley about? Okay, no doubt get a third dose if I could. Yeah, I get doses probably 4 or 5 times a week, folks. Get out there. If you get a $50 gift card, what I do is I put on a different pair of sunglasses, and I go into, I go get a vaccine, then I go get another one with a different pair of sunglasses. It works just like I voted for Trump multiple times. I would vote and then leave and come back with a pair of sunglasses on, and as long as they were different pairs of sunglasses, I voted for Trump 7-8 times. Let's see. Dershowitz says here. Okay, so this is Alan Dershowitz on with TV Karen. Let's see what happens here.
How infectious this is, how many people it kills. This is not smallpox. So this is not a fully approved.
It's not smallpox. But you know what? During smallpox, we had mandatory vaccines.
But it's not a fully approved vaccine.
And people fought it, and it went all the way to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is like, well, no, yes, you have some rights, etc., but remember, your right to swing your fist ends at the other person's nose. It's your basic... was that Berger? That wasn't Berger. That was Marshall. Was it Marshall? Somebody can look that. It doesn't we're getting way to the weeds here. Get way to the SCOTUS weeds. By the way, if you are out there buying weed, SCOTUS is one of the best. Don't do drugs, kids. So this is TV Karen talking to about smallpox, apparently, and Alan Dershowitz. And no one can figure out Alan Dershowitz. He's one of the great mysteries of who built the pyramids. What's up with Alan Dershowitz?
How infectious this is, how many people it kills. This is not smallpox. So this is not a fully approved. It's not a fully approved vaccine either.
Neither was the smallpox vaccine in 1905. No, I think COVID.
Well, I think it was 1901, but okay.
COVID is worse than smallpox.
Oh, it's 1905? Okay, correct.
Smallpox in many ways. It may not kill as many.
Didn't the outbreak start like right at the turn of the century, though?
People, but we don't know what the long-term impact is. I have
killed
the
300 million people worldwide. 300 million people.
I know. I have a right. I know.
This is. This is something that actually outrages me. Well, kids don't need to protect it because there's only 350 kids who've died, and they all had underlying conditions. Yeah, I had asthma as a kid. Did I deserve to die? My daughter has asthma. Did she deserve to die as a kid because she had asthma? Or maybe my kid was a little bit overweight. Did they deserve to die? Should we not have tried to protect them? Should we not try and protect fat kids? And the answer is no, we shouldn't protect fat kids. I'm kidding. Remind me sometime to show you this video. My friend Brent and Samantha B. Brent Chapman and Samantha B. made a video called Fat Kid. We'll watch that sometime. Another COVFEFE, but somebody remind me to watch the video about fat kids. It's very funny. And I don't know if we can get away with watching it and not get a copyright strike, but maybe we can try because it's super funny. According to Ali Velshi last night, it was 1901 was the smallpox outbreak. Yeah, I think the vaccine was... Yeah, I want to say it was turn of the century because at the end of the 18th century, there were vaccines, and I want to say that they were, but this is honestly, I should have done more research on this. But thank you, at random. You guys can have that argument yourself. But 1905, that might have been when the Supreme Court case was. I want to say it was earlier than that. The 1905 thing called the Great Influenza by John Barry. At random saying this happened in Boston. Wasn't it a butcher? No, it was a pastor. It was a religious guy in Boston, right? It was a minister or a pastor or somebody. Anyway, it's neither here nor there. You can watch Ali Velshi last night. What program was? Oh, was he substituting for Rachel Maddow? I just hate anyone who's not Rachel Maddow. Sorry, I love me some Ali Velshi. Get up here with the Velcher, as Trump called him, and said he worked on CNN. But anybody who's sitting there, I turn on the boob tube and or my phone, and I say, Rachel can't be with us tonight. Instead, I'll be here hosting. I hate you. Do not take my Rachel away. You can't be Rachel. Do not start off with, in 1972, President Richard M. Nixon. Don't. I don't want to hear you. I don't want you to hear you trying to be Rachel.
I have the right to get on an airplane and know that everybody on that airplane is vaccinated or tested. You may have the right not to get vaccinated.
Okay, so here is the law professional, Dershowitz, whom, by the way, Trump has relied upon multiple times in defense of Trump, saying that he has the right when he gets on a plane to know that everyone's either vaccinated or tested. Judges agree. You have that right. COVID infects other people's rights. That's how it works.
But you have no right to spread the disease to me, even if you...
Yes, you have no right to spread the disease. And that's what was decided in all of the Supreme Court cases involving diseases, whether that be Givens v. Ogden, 1828, or any subsequent decisions, 1901 or 1902 or 1905, whatever it was, the Supreme Court has always said government has the welfare of the people, the protection, the safety of the people, the health of the people. The states, by definition, are able to pass laws that regulate the spread of disease and or mitigate it.
If you won't kill me,
Professor,
even if you won't kill
have you
me,
not been listening?
I don't want long-term
This
impact.
is Harvard Law
I have,
School,
but
okay?
I don't believe you.
I didn't go to Harvard Law School, but I did hear.
Yeah.
But I did hear the president today talk about how if you're vaccinated, you spread the virus. You still can spread the virus.
True.
I mean, the data out of Israel, the data out of the UK, they're freaking out about this.
Oh, now she's all about the data.
It'll be spread much less seriously. Look, we don't know what we don't know.
Okay, well, she just admitted he was right.
Okay, you can deprive people of their constitutional rights on the basis of a vaccine.
There's no constitutional rights. There are no constitutional rights not to protect others in the society. This is what holds a society together. Without it, we have anarchy. I mean, if you're Antifa, then you go right ahead there, Dr. Laura, but...
that still allows the spread of a virus.
There is no constitutional right to get on an airplane and to spread the disease to me, even if it's not going to be fatal.
That is true.
I have constitutional rights.
We gotta go. We're up against a hard break, but
and the court's got to balance it.
It's not smallpox, Professor. Thank you. Now,
that is correct, though. It is not smallpox, and it's also not the flu. Let's see if there's anything else we want to catch up on here. Guys, I totally missed what we're supposed to be outraged by this morning. I think we caught up with Ace in here. Let's go back to the Fox and Friends. Oh, that's the story. Morning Glory. Let's just join them in utero here. Midway through, what were we outraged by the way? Oh, they're just talking. So now we're going to see the clips. Maybe this is just in time.
As the president makes his...
She thinks the UK is freaking out because people who are vaccinated could still spread the virus, which we've known for several weeks now because of Singapore and the contact tracing that they do, which, by the way, all developed countries should be doing. Cujo lives in a city that's 70% vaccinated. By the way, the Canadians are kicking vaccine ass. Vaccinated is what they call it up in Canada.
Push to vaccinate.
Morning, Stephanie.
everybody in America who can get the shot.
That's right. And this is as Republicans march maskless in defiance of Speaker Pelosi's rule.
Oh yeah, we were going to look at the Yelp reviews. Hold on. Yelp, Basilicos, Kachina Basilico, I bet is what it was. Let's see if what it is. No, this is San Diego. Let's go to Basilico, Silico, Italian cater Concord. No, let's go Huntington Beach. Oh, I got to put Huntington Beach over here. Sorry, guys. I can't remember the last time I used Yelp on a computer. Huntington Beach, California. Here we go. Worst restaurant ever. So let's read some of the reviews here. Okay, and these are sponsored. Oh, these are other Italian. Where are my reviews? Okay, reviews. This business has been, where'd it go? Has been claimed. Show me the reviews. Okay, I can't click on that. Write a review. This business is being monitored by Yelp support team for content related to media reports. Okay, so are they hiding the reviews from us now? Those are sponsored. Ask the community. And unusual activity. Okay, so this business, they've taken down the reviews because this business has received an increased public attention, which often means people come to this page to post their views on the news, and we do not allow that. So if you're here to leave a review based on first-hand experience, please check back at a later date. So the reviews have been shut down. Yesterday, England hit 88% of adults vaccinated, which is awesome. Let's just take a quick look at the UK. Because they had their alpha, and then they had some delta, and then they had some smelta. UK, let's see what they're doing in terms of the wave. And okay, it looks like you guys have reached your peak, so fantastic news, because you guys had it really bad for a little while there. High on June 20th, 46,000 cases, now down to 30,000, and hopefully that won't wrap up again. But again, remember, we know from experience that COVID likes to do it in waves. You've got your first peak, your second, your third, and then it went away, and hey, we got vaccines and everything's fixed. Yay, we're the best. Happy, happy, happy. And then the new variant. Get vaccinated. And this might be like an increased vaccination point here, at least the vaccine taking effect. I don't know. You guys have AstraZeneca over there. Pfizer, 1 billion people on the planet have now had the Pfizer vaccine administered.
Chaos reigns supreme. Griff Jenkins is live from Washington with more.
That's chaos. All that diversity. All those senators marching to the Senate. Oh, wait, they're not senators. They're House members marching to the Senate.
His push to vaccinate everybody in America who can get the shot.
That's right. And this is as Republicans.
Thomas, get on it. Ireland's got to be a higher vaccination rate than that. 55%, that's pathetic. That's almost like U.S. numbers.
Republicans march maskless in defiance of Speaker Pelosi's rules.
Chaos reigns supreme. Griff Jenkins is live.
This is chaos. This is chaos reigning supreme. You know what? If only there was some footage of other things happening in the House and Senate on Capitol Hill that could represent what chaos is. I bet this guy here, I bet he's about to rub his fecal matter on the walls in the rotunda. That's chaos, my friends.
Live from Washington with more. Griff, I say your name with a question mark.
Good morning, Brian, Rachel, and Steve. Are you guys ready to go back to lockdowns? Well, yesterday at the White House, they weren't ruling it out, saying they'll listen to the science in the CDC. Watch.
We listen to the CDC and the expert and their guidance. The CDC is a body that is very well respected, and we follow their guidance.
So I don't like this whole respected. I don't like this whole trusted. I don't like this whole has gravitas. I do not like this whole credibility. They're scientists. That's all you have to say. We listen to the scientists at the CDC. I don't care how much people respect them. Who respects them? Who doesn't respect them? Who doesn't respect scientists? Idiots. People who don't understand how science works. Just say the CDC. Doesn't have to be respected. Trump is always talking about how well respected idiots are. Doesn't matter what people's opinions are. It's science.
And the president announcing now every federal government employee or contractor must show
Yeah, they say it mockingly, as At Random is saying this, as if listening to the science was a stupid thing. Yeah, why don't you guys just follow the science?
Proof of vaccination or face rigorous testing.
This whole thing is just mind-blowing. That people have been given a free way to avoid death and the death of their loved ones, and fellow citizens for that matter, and they're like, you can't force me not to die. It's just mind-blowing.
Wear a mask, social distance, and limit their travel.
With freedom comes responsibility.
Yeah.
Your decision.
Yeah. You know who said that? Uncle Ben, Spider-Man's uncle. And then what happened to him? He got killed. Be careful, Joe.
To be unvaccinated impacts someone else. Unvaccinated people spread the virus.
Biden also pushing vaccine initiatives, including directing the military to look into adding COVID shots to required vaccines and offering $100 to get the shot. This, as much of the country returns to that mask mandate, including,
like I said, I'll get a shot every day.
On Capitol Hill, where...
And it's a winner because I can buy sunglasses for about $5 down at the gas station. $100 a day I'm getting for getting vaccinated. Sunglasses, $5, that's a 95% profit.
Some refusing to wear a mask can be arrested. Now, Capitol Police issuing a memo saying this, quote, officers should not arrest any member for failure to wear a mask, but any person who fails to either comply or leave would be subject to an arrest for unlawful entry. House Republicans were outraged, some marching from the House to the Senate floor in protest yesterday. They're demanding the CDC...
That's a march. They're meandering is what they're doing. They're, what's the Western word for it? What would they say in the South? Somebody from the South tell me what they would say. What's the word? Not meandering, but moseying. That's a mosey. That's a Republican mosey. A dozen buses carrying Afghan interpreters and their families arrived at Fort Lee this morning. That's fantastic news. We need like 300 buses carrying Afghan interpreters and their families. We need about 10,000 Afghan interpreters and their families out of Afghanistan. Waddling, it's a stomp. I'd like to see them all with like garbage cans on their feet. Boom, 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 boom. You want to get my attention? And that's exactly the kind of thing you'd expect from all this diversity. It's funny that we can recognize Representative Gates just from the hairline. There's Johnny Bravo.
Released the data behind their mask mandate reversal. This says some Republicans are also calling out the...
I saw some diversity in there. I stand corrected.
Capitol physician, Dr. Brian Monahan, for not wearing a mask while briefing House members about the new mask mandate. Brian, Steve, Rachel?
That's crazy. So, Griff,
it's crazy. Crazy. It is.
These House members, the Republicans who don't want to wear the mask, could they wind up getting arrested if they're on the Senate side of the building or just on the House side?
It's just the House side.
Where Nancy Pelosi presides.
That is a good question, Steve, and the answer is no, because on this...
Is it a good question?
Senate side, it's a different rule than what Speaker Pelosi is pushing.
Well, Griff, that's nuts.
Well, wait a second. That's nuts. You mean that the House Speaker can make rules on her own? Just because she's the House Speaker? How does that happen? Nobody elected her.
It's the same building. It's nuts.
It's nuts. And now we've got Saturday at 5 a.m., tomorrow, 5 a.m., D.C.'s Mayor Muriel Bowser is saying masks for everybody indoors. So yet another wrinkle coming in making decisions on Capitol Hill.
Interesting word, wrinkle. Talking about a life upheaval. Thanks so much, Griff. So here
life upheaval. Having to wear a mask? Life upheaval. You know, an earthquake has wiped out your home. A flood has swept your home off its foundation, and right now it's 3 blocks away, floating down a river that wasn't there yesterday. You know, when you have to wear a mask that someone hands you, and it becomes slightly painful to your ear after several hours of wear. And it tickles, if you haven't shaved that day, it kind of tickles your stubble. Life upheaval from Brian Kilmeade.
We go. Because now from here on in, if you're confused, just to understand, local officials will have our lifestyle in their hands. Can't rule out more.
Our lifestyle. Is he coming out of the closet right now? Like to get you in my hands, Brian. Stop.
Lockdowns can't rule out remote learning for kids when they go back to school. The locals can wield mask mandates or not. Misinformation, a problem. They still can continue to say that. And we now have offered $100 incentives to get vaccinated.
People, I did it for free.
I know.
Right.
I feel like I acted too soon if I held out.
I want to say something because I know you love history.
You always want to say something. You're practically misinformation. So go ahead, misinformation. Tell us.
But I was talking to my husband this morning about this.
I was only kidding about Grant.
Well, he does love history. I talked to Sean this morning about this mask mandate. He was just furious about it. He says, article...
Her husband was just furious. I'm assuming your husband is Sean. Unless she changed. But that was where she went with that. So I'm going to say her husband's name is Sean.
1 Section 6 Clause 1 actually protects senators and representatives from getting arrested on their way to vote. It's in the Constitution. You can't do that because when the founders did this, they were concerned that members might be arrested on their way to D.C. And it could affect legislation. And so that's why they kind of backed down a little bit. But I'll tell you what, members of Congress on the Republican side are, one, I think reflecting the will of the people. 74% of Americans do not want mask mandates. And two, they're just angry at the collegiality that is broken down under Speaker Pelosi's.
She's the worst.
They're angry that the collegiality has broken down. You know how before Pelosi, everybody got along in the House and the Senate. And now that they're not, now that there's just a little bit of animosity under Speaker Pelosi, who is to blame for said animosity, they're angry about it, and that's why they're making us wear masks.
She's getting a total pass. She called Kevin McCarthy a moron.
She called him a moron. Look what else she...
Well, I mean, he is a moron.
She's done. She put metal detectors, basically implying that congressional Republican members of Congress are terrorists.
No, that's not implying that. That's saying we need not to have guns on the House floor.
He was picking...
And that's anybody. I mean, if it was just the Republicans that they were making go through the metal detectors, then okay. But everybody who goes onto the House floor, whether congressperson, senator, Republican, Democrat, visitor, everybody has to go through that metal detector. So no, it's not implying that Republicans are terrorists. They are, but it's not implying it.
Members of people's committees. She's taking...
Stephanie says there's a testing vaccine site near us that gives gift cards for both a vaccine and for a test. And I think they're gift cards for like Ralph's and the local grocery stores, if I'm correct. It's $50. Is that how it is in wherever you are in California? Next time I need a test, I'm going there. Wait, you get a gift card for a test? Because I will go get tested every day. Is it just the vaccine? Or is it a test as well? Because I'm going to get some gift cards. I'm going to drink nothing but Starbucks in the morning.
Republican members off of committees. And now she's, threatening to arrest members of Congress who won't wear a mask. And so I think that the collegiality is breaking down. I think it's a big problem. We see that Peter Doocy was...
This is how my life will work forthcoming if Stephanie is accurate. And if there's any place that tests and gives gift card news, I will go and they will say, oh, here you go. Thank you very much. Here's a $5 gift card for Starbucks. And that is good for half a biscotti. So then I will go to a Starbucks at some point. I'll be driving and be like, Starbucks. I was supposed to go to Starbucks. I go to Starbucks and I will get my, I'll just say I want a small. And they'll say, well, what is, so a venti? And I'll be like, no, that's 20. I don't like just a small. I just want a small coffee. Oh, and it'll say like a tall. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a small. I just want to just give me the smallest you have, whatever that is, whatever you want to call it. Just give me that coffee. And then they'll say, okay, that'll be $17.47. And then with my coffee in hand, I will be putting my car into reverse, looking at the backup screen and checking both ways, because you always want to look back as well. You don't just rely on that screen. There's other obstacles. And then I will realize, oh, I didn't use the gift card. And that will be every day moving forward.
Grilling, I think, the president. There was a good back and forth between them about this mask mandate. Take a look.
Mr. President, you said if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask.
Right. And then COVID said, hey, have yourself a Delta variant.
And it seems...
No, I didn't say that.
You did. I had to say
if you're fully vaccinated.
About this mask mandate. Take a look.
Okay.
Mr. President, you said if you are fully vaccinated, you no longer need to wear a mask. And it seems...
No, I didn't say that.
You did. I had to say
if you're fully vaccinated in an area where you do not have... Well, let me clarify.
In May, you made it sound like the vaccine was the ticket to losing the mask forever. And
that is true at the time, because I thought there were people who were going to understand that getting vaccinated made a gigantic difference. And what happened was, a new variant came along, they didn't get vaccinated, it was spread more rapidly, and more people were getting sick. That's the difference.
That is the difference. It was true at the time. Judges agree.
Okay, so Peter did a little fact-checking of the president, and
Sure did.
you could see he was a little hot under the collar.
He wanted to say I never said that, but he did say
Well,
that.
Peter had...
Yeah, and it was true at the time. And now, remember, 3 years ago, Biden wasn't telling anyone to wear a mask. Why not, Joe Biden? That's a lie.
Right here. No, in May you said, and we could...
Starbucks app. Oh, please. Like I've got a Starbucks app. Actually, I would. I just don't, I don't drink Starbucks. I'm not a, I make my coffee at home. I have my 1 cup, and then my brand takes effect, and that's that.
Play the video where he did that. The Washington Post.
Yeah, COVID isn't fighting fair. At random's correct.
Post on their front page today, up in the corner, they've got the CDC.
But what about what I'm worried about is now we are 8.5 minutes into the broadcast, and I've yet to be outraged by critical race theory. What happened? Where did it go? I know we're in summer and there's no school anyway, but that hasn't stopped us the last few days of being outraged about critical race theory destroying the country.
See internal slide presentation that apparently led to the about face on masking and also for the president to be pressing everybody to get vaccinated. It has a much more urgent tone, and that is why they said a couple of days ago, you got to wear your mask. Everybody, even if you've gotten vaccinated, even though I said that before. According to the CDC, this slideshow, it says the vaccination is your best defense against this variant that is so contagious. They're comparing it to how fast Ebola spreads. It's as common and as quickly spread as the common cold. It's not as lethal, but that is some of the terminology.
Okay, no, it's not as lethal as Ebola, Brian. It is still lethal, Brian. 17 people just in my county yesterday died. 10 of them were my age, Brian. Well, it's not as lethal as smallpox. It's not as lethal as, say, a gunshot right here. It's more like a gunshot right here. So we shouldn't, that's okay. Shooting people right here, why would we make any gun laws? But...
technology in it. It spreads just as fast as Ebola.
And he's just look at his face. Just look at Brian shaking his head. It's not as lethal as Ebola. Only 600,000 Americans have died from COVID, whereas with Ebola, I'm guessing 40 million people in America have died from Ebola. SMH. SMDH.
This variant that is so contagious, they're comparing it.
He's looking at his notes or he's sleeping, one of the two.
To how fast Ebola spreads.
Yeah.
It's as common and as quickly spread as the common cold. It's not as lethal, but that is some of the terminology in it.
It's just not. I wish it was. I really do. But it's not.
It spreads just as fast as Ebola, which...
Yeah, he's sleeping. He's falling asleep again.
Obviously, it goes on to say they've...
He looks up at me like he heard me.
Got to change their messaging by saying Ebola. That's part of the messaging.
I know it used to be that the government would try to calm down the masses. It seems like the government now is always trying to up the fear ante. Representative Crenshaw from Texas says,
This is what happens when you take down your studio and put it back up again every day. By the way, did you notice my white green screen back here? That's fancy. I have to thank my current proprietor again for the use of her sheet. That I'm not sure she's completely aware of that this is hers. Nothing has been said so far. So far, again, thank you so much.
I don't care what the government says. People are not going to follow these mandates anymore. Take a look.
I think from pressure from the administration.
They have that same analog hiss, by the way, that we were talking about earlier.
Again, because I think the Democrats love to instill fear in the hearts of Americans. And I think Americans are really sick of this. They're over it.
Yeah, you know the way the Democrats have been talking about how CRT, critical race theory, is going to destroy our country. They love to instill irrational fear.
They're not going to comply, and you shouldn't comply with any more lockdowns, with any more mandates, none of it.
Well,
here in the House, they're trying to fine us and jail us if we're not wearing a mask. You know, these people are crazy.
So if you have the vaccine, it's going to be a cold if you get it. And if you're asymptomatic, you're asymptomatic. With the vaccine, you're not in danger. If you spread it to someone who's not vaccinated, that's their choice. And if someone's vulnerable, they're wearing an N95 mask. And they're handling their own health. We can't look out for the people that are immunocompromised. They have to look out for themselves while being responsible. You can't walk around with a walk.
Yeah, immunocompromised people. Stop expecting to live a semi-normal existence in this country. You need to isolate yourself permanently. See what I did there? I made it forever, because it's always forever. They just want us to wear masks forever. They want us to wear masks until the end of time. It's like, don't worry, the mask is going to kill you within a couple of weeks.
You walk around on a daily basis, life is full of risks. Now they're going to use this
because cars. Got it.
Opportunity to lock everybody down, and the result will be less faith in the system.
I think it'll be interesting.
It's fewer faith in the system. FYI.
To see if this moment is an inflection point, because over the last year, I've been wondering, when will Americans have enough? You've seen, I see so much submission to these kinds of edicts without the science backing it up, or the science changing and then them not changing.
Yeah, so the last thing we want to do is submit. And if you're one of the 10 to 15 million Americans who have some sort of immunocompromisation, you need to stay home. And but don't submit. Stay home, but don't wear your mask while you're at home. Actually, you guys should wear your mask while you're at home. In fact, don't touch anything. Wrap yourself in bubble wrap, not this area though. You want to keep that off, obviously, so you can breathe through your mask.
Changing the policy, so we will see, because that really is the
will we see
question. If everybody decides to not follow the rules, then they can't do it.
Well, then they'll be dying off. Yeah.
People,
Oh, here's the thing. If everybody decides not to follow the rules, what's going to happen is the virus will mutate, and we will end up with a super variant that kills 500,000, 20 million, 40 million, half of the 70% of the population of this country. Oh, bye-bye.
Law enforcement gives homicide suspects ankle bracelets, and they're looking to arrest you for not wearing a mask.
Yeah,
I think the inflection point is going to come in the coming.
Yes. Both things are bad.
Month when people start sending their kids back to school.
It's a great point.
That is going, because there's so, when you look at
The last thing people want to do is protect their children.
The American landscape right now, the manifestation is these people at the school board meetings, and they're going, hey, look, what are you doing to us? The science says, and you know what the science says. Anyway, more on this a little later on. In the meantime, come look at your TV set. Does this look like a Kid Rock concert to you? Well, that's what some progressives are saying as they are.
Well, everybody's white, so
tearing into the Senate's infrastructure bill negotiators.
Really? Is everybody white?
Anyway, more on this a little later on. In the meantime, come look at your TV set.
Okay.
Does this look like a Kid Rock concert to you?
All of those people look like they're at a Kid Rock concert, especially Collins.
Well, that's what some progressives are saying as they are tearing into the Senate's infrastructure bill negotiators over a lack of diversity. And that's not all. We're going to talk about that after a brief time out. You're watching Fox and Friends.
Okay, and we're going to stop talking because now it's been about an hour and a half of COVFEFE this morning, and I appreciate you joining me along the journey. And now my sciatica is acting up. So at least I know that the exercises, I'm not done with the exercises for my sciatica. So now I know. Because it was acting up after about 30 minutes. Now I'm up to an hour and a half, so the exercises are theoretically working. I want to be able to drive to Seattle to see my family and friends, and mostly Rusty the dog. But I can't do that if it's going to, if my sciatica is going to act up. Boy, this is Spilling COVFEFE. We talk about things that enrage Kevin and things that Kevin has that could be defined as ailments, and mostly being old. So I have to go do my sciatica exercises. Here's my recommendation to all of you out there that are younger than 51. Don't get old. Do what you can to avoid it. That being said, I had sciatica for a spell when I was like in my 30s. So I had a back injury. So it will be, Todd. Thank you. The back will get better. Oh, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going to call my doctor's office and get a referral to a chiropractor or physical therapy or something. So I was at my doctor's office a few years back. And I can't remember. I might have had tennis elbow. I think I had something with my wrist. I think it was actually like tennis elbow, but I wasn't playing tennis. But you know, tennis, it's just called tennis elbow, but it's this ligament right here, these muscles in this area here, that don't make, they can be unhappy for any number of reasons. So they send you to physical therapy and you grab a ball and you put your hand into rice and then you move it around, and that's how you do it. But when the doctor said, well, would you like to go to physical therapy? I'm like, yeah, I'll go. Yeah, just sure. Yeah. And she, okay, great. I'll write you up a referral. And he said, it always shocks me when people say yes, because nobody ever does, because nobody wants to do physical therapy. They want a couple of pills and that's going to fix the problem. I'm like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, what? He says, no, that's the vast majority of the people. And I said, what percentage of people would you say at this clinic just won't do the physical therapy? And he said, well, it's hard to say because probably 25% say, yes, I'll do the physical therapy. And I see them all over again because they haven't been going to their appointments. People. I guess I'm not normal. But if I get like physical therapy or whatever, it's because something is hurting me. I don't, like a dog. Okay? A dog or a cat or an ant. Any creature that does something that causes pain, they will stop doing it. And then a dog, they forget about it in 2 seconds and they do it all over again. But if humans are given the opportunity to, hey, here's something that will help alleviate that pain, they won't do it. What's wrong with us? That being said, it is that very instinct to ignore something that will help fix the pain that probably keeps humans in relationships and reproduces the species. Therefore, it's part of evolution. We are designed for stupidity. Shelley says, stop in Portland. I will buy you lunch. I might stop in Portland for dinner, Shelley, and you can buy me dinner if that offer stands. Thank you. Because I have to leave here. If I'm driving up there, coming back, I can stop for lunch. Maybe we'll do that. We'll see what happens. Putting something in rice is for phones. Yeah, so they give you a phone to hold, a phone that's been dropped into a toilet, and then you dip that into the rice, and you keep it there for 24 hours, and when you pull your arm out, everything hurts. So you've completely forgotten about the one little muscle. That's science. I don't think dogs stick to their physical therapy exercise either. No, they do not. Speaking of exercises, I gotta go stretch. You know what the exercise is? It's literally just lying flat on my stomach. That's the exercise. There's more than that, but that's how you start. Just lie flat until the pain subsides. I'm like, really? Is this? Did you guys come up with this? Am I paying for this whole lying flat on my belly? All right, guys. It's Friday. Oh, Friday is movie night. And I'll have you guys know that I canceled tennis for tonight so that I could do movie night. And by canceled, I mean the other people that I was supposed to play have some sort of family dinner and they can't do it tonight. So for you, I was willing to accept that. We'll do a movie tonight. Think about what kind of movie you want. And then if you're a patron, KevinLeeFather.com, if you want to become a patron for as little as $1 a month, then I'll send out something saying, yeah, we're having our Zoom meeting. It's not Zoom, but we'll send out a little, Google Meet. So if you don't have the app on your phone, the best thing to do is watch it on a PC. And then you connect to your TV or whatever. So watch it on a PC. If you don't have a PC and you want to join us for the movie tonight, get yourself the Google Meet app. And that way, we watch a movie, maybe, but we just, it's a place to get in and discuss openly where we don't have to worry about being censored or copyright struck or all that other good stuff. So you're welcome to join us tonight. 2 things you can do. Join, become a patron. You'll get the link. Or on Twitter, just send me a note on Twitter, and hopefully I see it. If I don't see it by 4 or 5 o'clock Pacific time, the movie's going to be at 6 o'clock Pacific time. If I don't see it, feel free to @ me again on Twitter. I don't know. Have I given out my email address before? My Kevin Lee Father email address? I don't even know. But I'll abstain from that right now because I am getting hassled a little bit by the right wing nuts. At Random says kids have to stay home and wear N95 masks till they are 12. I guess that's currently, yeah. Hip stretches too. Yeah, no, I know. There's a series of exercise that I'm doing, including like this. That's one of the exercises. So I will be going to do my exercises. Now that I've mentioned that now for 6 minutes, I'm going to say goodbye. Guys, so we'll see you later for the movie. We might see you later for a broadcast, depending on what happens today. I've got at least three auditions to get in, so I got to do that. And one of them's up in Seattle and shoots just before my birthday, so hopefully there's going to be a birthday trip to Seattle involved in the near future that by that time, I'm hoping my sciatica is gone. So, thanks very much for joining me with COVFEFE Talk and discussion of Kevin's ailments. Be good to yourself, be good to others, and most importantly, be good to me.